Hi, long range hunting. Today we're going to be talking about scope magnification for long range hunting applications. This I've talked about in different videos. I haven't really done a video specifically just covering this topic. This was requested by a subscriber. I've actually got a couple requests I'm working on, but I wanted to cover this as pretty quick and easy. Now, as far as scopes, a lot of people don't understand as far as magnification can be your friend and it can be your enemy. What people try to do is use magnification of a scope to try to compensate for quality. And so what they'll do is they'll get a cheaper scope. If you look at a lot of the cheap scopes, they have a massive magnification range. The problem being though is the higher magnification, the lower the quality of your picture is going to be as far as your resolution of your optics. So when you go to look through that, the higher the magnification, the worse it's going to be. And so adding that magnification, all you're doing ultimately is crippling yourself with those cheaper scopes. A higher quality scope, even on a lower power, will give you more clarity and you'll be able to see better at 1,000 yards than a cheap one on 40 power. So it's one of those things that you're not only cutting down your field of view, you're increasing your eye strain from the magnification, and you're setting yourself up for failure because you're not getting the same kind of quality. So people always ask to say, oh, when you get out there, I shoot a mile on 14 to 15 power all day long. So scope quality matters way more than magnification. Now that being said, I do believe in using some magnification. The reason being is, especially for hunting, is identifying that target. If I'm on a spotting scope, that's great. But as soon as I get on that rifle, I also need to be able to get on, identify the right animal, especially if it's in a herd of animals, and be able to see everything really well. It's something that it's hard to describe unless you actually see it and you put, scopes next to each other and start to look. And it's crazy. You can start seeing with the good scopes, you can start to see depth. You can see a lot of stuff that you can't see. You can put one scope up and you'll be like, what am I looking at? And put the other one up and you're like, oh man, there's an animal there. So if you can't see, you can't hit it. So quality is everything. Being able to zoom in and look at that animal is a great thing. I don't do it with my second focal planes just because I'm running between 14 and 15 power, generally speaking, on my second focal plane scopes. That way the mills are always true in the reticle and I can shoot any distance like that. With a first focal plane, I go a little bit higher just because I have that range where I don't have to worry about magnification. It's always going to be true. And so I only run a 25 on the high end, but it works really well because if I need to take a shot, let's say I get on target, I got my animal there, there's something coming in, a coyote or something that could ultimately end up spooking it. So I need to hurry that shot up a little bit. I can take a shot on that higher magnification if necessary. But generally speaking, what I'm going to do with a scope like this is I'm going to get on target on that animal. I'm going to bring the magnification up to identify, know exactly what I'm about to shoot at and make sure it's exactly what I want. And then I'm going to back off that magnification from 25 down to, 10 to 15 power roughly. And that's where I'm going to take that shot. So it gives you flexibility. A big part of this is eye strain. A lot of people don't realize if anybody as a kid has taken a magnifying glass and you tweak it to make that spot of light more refined and small, and that's when you can start a fire with that, or burn ants or whatever you end up doing with it. It does the same thing in a scope. If you take a flashlight and shine it through this end and adjust the magnification, you're going to see that open and close as far as that light. And so it's the same concept. And when you're on those higher magnifications, it's sitting right against your eye, and you'll actually burn your reticle into your retina. Now, this is something a lot of people have no idea what it is because they haven't spent that much time on a scope. But you spend a couple days staring through a scope, especially on higher magnifications, you can actually close your eye and you'll see your mil dots or your milling reticle or your MOA reticle perfectly etched in your eye. So you'll close it and it's almost like it's tattooed on the inside. And so when you start getting that type of eye strain, not only is it going to do that to you, your eyes are going to get tired, it's going to be harder for you, but it can also cause double reticles where you're actually going to start seeing the illusion of multiple reticles. So running high power really isn't ideal. You don't need it to shoot well. If you've got a cheaper in scope, that higher magnification is not going to make it any easier on you. The resolution is going to go down, and it's just not going to help you. So if you do have a cheaper scope, I know it sucks and you're going to have trouble seeing, but if that's what you have to work with, I'd recommend staying on, a medium power setting. If you have a first focal plane, you can play with that a little more, but it's one of those things that magnification can be both your friend and your enemy. And you really have to balance everything to find out what the perfect one is. But glass quality is king. Just period. It doesn't matter what magnification range you have. The quality of the glass is what's going to matter. And even with this, you're going to get distortion as you get on that higher end. It's going to be much clearer on that lower or medium end where you really want to be able to see stuff. So again, the only time this thing goes up to 25 power is when I'm trying to identify something. Either identifying where I hit on something, or if I'm checking out an animal and seeing, I've seen it on the spotting scope, now I'm making sure I'm on the right animal, back off, make that shot. Realistically, you don't need a whole heck of a lot if you have good glass. And so you're just, as an individual, based on your budget, you're going to just have to look at it and say, you know what, this is my budget, this is the best I can get, or I can afford whatever I need. If you go first focal plane, get some range with that. As far as, I would never go over 30 personally, but again, that's me, and I'm never going to touch 30 either. So simply get on there, look at the different scopes. If you can, actually try some out, whether it's going to the range and seeing if somebody will let you look through it, or going to the store and trying to compare. I mean, in the store, it's really hard to tell the difference. On the range or in the field's really where you're going to see that. But you get what you pay for. I mean, ultimately, that's how it is with all shooting stuff generally, but especially with optics. The better quality glass, the better results. So I hope this has answered your question as far as magnification goes. Now, we do have several new things going. I've been down a few days, so I've kind of delayed on it. We have another member request from Dawn about vital size of different animals, etc., anatomy, which I'll be covering there. And then we also are going to be doing some testing with one of the most requested bullets that I've gotten. I just hadn't got around to it, but that's the Sierra Match King 168 grains and 308. This was sent by a member on a SWAT team. This is what they use as snipers. He wanted to see what it'll do. So I'm actually going to be stepping out of the normal hunting. We will run that through a deer setup, just like all the other bullets, but I'm going to be doing a simulated headshot with ballistic gelatin for him, because again, that's what a sniper does. And I'm actually taking a deer's neck section, brainstem and all that I have in the freezer. I'm going to thaw that and place that in to represent what it's going to do as far as hitting that fatal tee. So we have a lot of good stuff coming up. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be on the range knocking those videos out, and also doing some of the filming, and hopefully knock out that video for Dawn real quick. So everybody be safe out there. It's really hot right now if you're in the South. Stay hydrated. Everybody, good luck this year and happy hunting. Not that hard, people.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notification bell so you won't miss out on any future video. And happy hunting!